Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Shataria here at Chicago Branch Great Millstone, prophesizing the return of the Heavenly Father Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. You all ignorantly call him Jesus, but his true and Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. Coming at you with another lesson. Before we get started, we're going to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadas Barakatah. Double honors to our apostles and our elders here at Great Millstone who rule well. Honors to the hopeful elect. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical and true Hebrews of the Bible. Salutation to all the Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity, the speckled bird, and all those whose lineage goes back to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, healthy Barakatah, and to the Akwaf, and those of you out there listening and learning, Shalom and Barakatah to you also. The title of this lesson is Leprosy Was the Mark That He Gave Him, Part 3, the conclusion, the trilogy, the end of it. In this lesson, we're going to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. We're going to pretty much prove that leprosy is a curse from Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. It's a curse from the Most High God. And without further ado, we're going to get right into it. As always, I'm going to start off albino, a person having a congenital absence of pigment in the skin or hair, which are pale skin, okay? And the eyes, which are usually like a pinkish red, all right? And the etymology of words, it's important to get the full understanding of the word and what the word means. So going into the origin, going into the Latin, that's albus, okay? Pale skin, rare genetic disorder where you are born without the usual amount of melanin, pigment, okay? Melanin is a very special chemical in your skin, body, hair, eyes, that determines the color of your skin. That's albinism, okay? And most people, or should I say all people with albinism, are prone to sunburn, okay? Skin disease, skin cancer, all right? And let's get leprosy, all right? Leprosy is both an ancient and modern disease, okay? The earliest evidence we have of leprosy is a skeleton in India that dates back 4,000 years. There are references of leprosy in the Bible, in the scriptures, and that's what we've been reading in part 1 and part 2 of leprosy was the mark that he gave them, okay? All right. Leprosy or Hansen's disease was reported more than 3,000 years ago. It was interpreted as a curse of God, okay? And should I say pale skin, I usually should say white skin because that's what Esau self-proclaimed himself to be, all right? White, okay? In 1681, he started calling himself white, all right? And in 1682, Jake became Negroes, okay? That's what he put on us, Negroes, all right? And in the 1700s, that white superiority doctrine, it advanced from that point. And what he did through Taoism, okay? Charles Darwin, all right? He fabricated the three different people, the Caucasoid being white, Mongoloid being brown, and Negroid being black. And he took that and matched it to the sons of, the sons, okay, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, the sons of Noah. He linked that up, okay, Caucasoid being white, Mongoloid being brown, and Negroid being black. And he matched that up to the sons of, okay, Noah, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, all right? And he even went so far as to try to, say the sons of Ham or the children of Ham was white to fit his lie, all right? Okay? So that's pretty much what he did there, all right? And Charles Robert Darwin, that's Darwinism, okay? And through his white superiority doctrine, through Darwinism, he tried to link that up, that evolution thing. Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negrozoid, and he linked Shem, Japheth, and Ham to that. And again, to further the lie, he tried to say that the sons of Ham or the children of Ham were white. Okay, Charles Robert Darwin was an English naturalist, geologist, and biologist, widely known for his contribution to evolution. More pseudoscience, more lies. Brings me to my first precept, all right? Give me 2nd Esdras. Okay, 2nd Esdras 6 and 27. And it says, for evil it shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. Now, that word deceit, the definition is the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. 2nd Esdras 6 and 27. 2nd Esdras 6 and 28. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared, okay? And the truth seems strange to Jake because we've been, programmed, all right? The truth seems strange to Jake because Esau, through slavery, he beat the truth out of us, okay? And he reprogrammed us, all right? Our mind, okay? He reprogrammed our mind. I pledged allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, and our mind has been so saturated with lies till the truth seems strange, all right? And the truth, it just seems strange to Jake because Esau, through slavery, the truth was, pretty much beat out of us. And he reprogrammed our mind. And those that tried to hold their Hebrew tongue, their language, tried to hold on to their culture and their traditions, they were told on or betrayed by the house nigger, the straw boss. Jake's like Samuel Jackson in the movie Django. I be a good nigger, master, Stephen Fletcher. Jake's, they would tell the master or the plantation owner, and he would have them killed in front of everybody as an example. Horse whipped, beat to death, tarred and feathered, tied the horses and pulled apart by his limbs. He would make a very wicked example out of them. But that's what Esau do. And the only way a lie can exist if you hide the truth, okay? The only way a lie can exist is if you hide the truth. But we're living in a time where the truth is being manifested now. See, the veil is being lifted off of Esau. People are seeing him for who he really is. And he is the biblical Edomite of the Bible that it speaks of, all right? Let me get you a precept on that. Give me that Thessalonians. Give me that Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians 2. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, And we had that falling away already. We done lost everything, like I just told you. Our culture, our heritage, you know what I'm saying? Our land. We had the falling away, okay? 70 AD, we done had that. All right. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that's Esau Edom, okay? He's being revealed, all right? See what I'm saying? The veil is being lifted off of him, and people are seeing him for who he really is. That biblical Edomite of the Bible, that the Bible speaks of, okay? Satan in the physical form, okay? The spiritual demon Satan, well, Esau is Satan in the physical form. And again, the only way a lie can exist is if you have the truth. John 8 and 32. John 8 and 32. John 8 and 32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. See, so again, we're living in a time where the truth is being manifested, all right? But without further ado, we're going to break down these chapters in Leviticus 14th chapter. We're going to break down chapters 14 and 30 through 57. We're going to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and prove, okay, that leprosy is a curse from Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, okay? Let's get right into it. Leviticus, okay? Leviticus 30, all right? We're going to go to Leviticus 30, and it says, and he shall offer the one of the turtle doves or the young pigeon, such as he can get. Okay, you know, if Jake was poor and couldn't afford the turtle doves, then he would get pigeons, all right? Leviticus 14 and 31. Even such as he is able to get, the one for the sin offering and the other for the burnt offering, with the meat offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before the Lord. This is the law of him in whom the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertaineth in his cleansing, okay? And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, all right? Let's go to Leviticus 14 and 10 before we go down further to 33. And you can stay right in Leviticus, okay? 14th chapter, verses 10, and precept that, okay? Because again, Leviticus 14th chapter, we very rarely have to leave out of that chapter because it pretty much precepts itself. Okay, we're gonna go into Leviticus, okay, and read that for you. I never took you out of that, so we'll go back over that. Let's go to Leviticus, and we'll go to Leviticus 14th chapter, and we're gonna go to Leviticus 14 and 30. All right, and we're gonna get that for you, okay? And it says, and he shall offer the one of the turtle doves or of the young pigeons, such as he can get, whatever he can afford. Like I said earlier, you know, if Jake was poor and couldn't afford the turtle doves, then he would get the pigeons, all right? Even such as he is able to get, the one for the sin offering and the other for the burnt offering, with the meat offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before the Lord. This is the law of him in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertaineth to his cleansing, all right? And again, we can stay right in Leviticus 14 and 10. Pretty much, again, the chapter precepts itself. Very rarely do you have to leave out of Leviticus 14th chapter, but we are in this, part 3, because we're going to prove that leprosy is a curse from the Most High God, And we're going to show you just how serious the curse of leprosy is, all right? But let's go right up to Leviticus 14 and 10. And it says, and on the 8th day he shall take 2 he lambs without blemish. That means they can't have any scabies, herpes, no diseases. They have to be unblemished, okay? And the ewe lamb, that's a female lamb of the first year without blemish. And 3 deals of fine flour for a meat offering, okay? So he's using the flour for the meat offering, okay? And mingled with oil and 1 log of oil. Okay, a log, again, like I told you in part 1 and part 2, those are measures of liquids used by the Hebrews, our ancestors back then. That's a log, all right? So let's go right back to Leviticus 30, okay? And pretty much we're going to start at 33 now, all right? And it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when ye come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession, and he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to me there is as it were a plague in the house, okay? See what he's saying? It seemeth to be to him as it was a plague in the house. It seemeth to be as to him it was a plague in the house. So let me give you a better understanding of that, all right? Okay. And go down to 33. And it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession, and he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to be there is as it were a plague in the house. So that's letting you know right there that it's a plague from Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, okay? That there lets you know, okay? Let's get Proverbs, okay? Let's get Proverbs 3 and 33. All right, Proverbs 3 and 33, okay, and it reads, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. So pretty much, hey, it's a curse, okay, from the Most High God. It's a curse from Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah. All right. Let's keep reading, all right? Let's go back to Leviticus, okay? Let's go back to Leviticus 14th chapter, okay? And we're going to keep reading from 35. All right? We're going to keep reading from Leviticus 14 and 35. And we're going to read a little bit, okay? And it says, then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean, and afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. Leviticus 14 and 37. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house, with hollow stalks, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. Leviticus 14 and 39. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. So all that stuff got to go outside the city in a place where they had for that kind of stuff. Okay, even the leper was not allowed into the city. They had what you might call today as a sanitarium. They were not allowed into the city. Leprosy, it would spread, so they couldn't come inside the city. They had a place for the lepers, all right? And all this stuff that had got, plague, they would take that and throw it outside the city, bury it pretty much, so to speak, okay? Leviticus 14 and 30. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, okay? Well, where was I at? Then the priest shall go out, we'll start at 38. Leviticus 14 and 38. Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, Leviticus 14 and 40. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. And I just told you that even the leper, they had a place like sanitariums for them. All that stuff would be taken outside the city. It was unclean, and it was, it would be buried or what have you. But the leper, he couldn't come. None of this stuff could enter into the city. It was all cast out because it was unclean. Leviticus 14 and 41. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city, outside the city, into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. Okay? And if the plague come again and break out in the house after that, he have taken away the stones, and after he have scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a flirting leprosy. It is a flirting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. The priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a flirting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. Let's go up to Leviticus 14 and 43. And if the plague come again, after they done scraped the house, okay, after they done took all this stuff away and remortared and re-bricked the house, and if the plague come again and break out in the house, after that he have taken away the stones, and after he have scraped the house, and after he have plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a flirting leprosy. Okay? It is in the house. It is a flirting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. Okay? It is unclean. All right? Let's line back off that. Give me that Leviticus 13 and 51. Leviticus 13 and 51. Okay? Leviticus 13 and 51. And it says, and he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the wrap, or in the hoof, or in the skin, or in any work it is made up, or any work that is made of the skin, the plague is unclean. The Salakia, the plague is a flirting leprosy. It is unclean. It says Leviticus 14. Okay, let's go back to Leviticus 14. Okay, and 44. Leviticus 14 and 44. So you can get the full drawing. Then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a flirting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. Leviticus 13 and 51. And he shall look on the plague on the seventh day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either or in the wrap, or in the hoof, or in the skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is flirting leprosy. It is unclean. Okay? He should therefore burn that garment, whether wrap or hoof, in the woolen or in the linen, or anything of the skin wherein the plague is, for it is a flirting leprosy. It shall be burnt in a fire. You see, it shall be burnt in a fire. Let's go back to Leviticus 14 and 44. Okay, so all this stuff, if the plague came back again, they pretty much had to burn the house down, burn everything that was in the house down. If it was an animal that had it, they had to burn him. And the leper was taken outside the camp. If he had the leprosy and it came back on him, I gave you that breakdown in part 2, okay, of the lesson. You can go back and recap that at your convenience. But he was outside the camp. They had what you might call a sanitarium. That's known today. I don't know if they called it that back then, but he would be put outside the camp. They weren't allowed in the camp, okay? And all that there unclean stuff, it was taken outside the camp, buried or what have you. But if it came back into that house again, they had to burn that house down, okay? Let's keep reading. Leviticus 45, 14 and 45. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, okay? He shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into the unclean place. See, into the unclean place. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the even. That means the evening. So the priests, when they went in, they was unclean until the evening, okay? All right? And he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. All right? Okay? What can I give you? We can stay right in Leviticus and go up to Leviticus 14 and 8. Like I said, pretty much precepts itself. But we're going to show you some of the miracles this time. Let's go to Leviticus 14. Salakia. Leviticus 14. And we're going to go up to 8. Where we at now? We at 47. Okay, but we're going to go back up to Leviticus 14 and 8. Okay, and here we go. It says, and he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, and he may be clean. And after he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad in his tent 7 days. Okay, so even if the priest thought he was clean, he'd come back into the camp, but he had to stay in his tent for 7 days. So they come back and check to make sure the leprosy was totally gone. All right, see what I'm talking about? And that's Leviticus 14 and 8. Let's go back down to 47. Okay, and we're gonna go, because that Leviticus 14 and 47, 14 and 8, we're gonna line back off that with Mark. We're gonna go to Mark 1 and 40. Okay, we're gonna go to Mark 1 and 40. Okay, 14 and 47. Let's go to Mark, the book of Mark. And we're going to go to Mark 1 and 40, okay? All right, Akim? Okay, it says Mark 1 and 40. And there came a leper to him, besearching him and kneeling down to him, and saying unto him, if thou wilt, and it Salakia, Mark 1 and 40. And there came a leper to him, besearching him, and kneeling down to him, saying unto him, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And Yahushua moved with compassion, put forth his hand and touched him. And he saith unto him, I will be thou clean. And as soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy departed from him, and he was washed clean. And he straightly charged him, and forthwith sent him away. And he saith unto him, see thou say nothing to any man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing those things which Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. Okay, and these are some of the miracles that Yahushua did, okay, during his time. See, he took away his leprosy, all right, okay, which proves again that leprosy, or Hansen's disease, was reported more than 3,000 years ago. It was interpreted as a curse of God. And I just gave you, we're going to get that Proverbs one more time, okay? Proverbs 3, okay, and 33, all right? Proverbs 3 and 33, it says, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just, all right? But he blesseth the habitation of the just, okay? And did I give you that Zechariah? We're going to get that Zechariah 5 and 4 also, okay? Let's get Zechariah. Let's get Zechariah 5 and 4, okay? Zechariah 5 and 4. I will bring forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sware falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of the house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So again, that's going into the house. If the plague came back into the house, that house had to be burnt down, all right? Proverbs 3 and 33 lets you know it's a curse from the Most High God, okay? It's a curse. And the man that was leopard in that Mark 1 and 40 through 45 I just gave you, these are some of the miracles that our Savior did. He touched the man and took away his leprosy, okay? So leprosy is a curse from the Most High God. Give me Psalms 91 and 9. Give me Psalms 91 and 9, all right? Let's get that Psalms 91 and 9, okay? Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, Psalms 91 and 10, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, okay? See, those that put their trust in Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, no plague shall befall you, okay? Those that keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, he keeps them, okay? Again, let's get that Proverbs 3 and 33 to line back where you get a full understanding, okay? It says, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Line backing off that Psalms 91 and 9, okay? Let's continue to read. Let's go back to Leviticus, all right? 14. Okay, Leviticus 14, and where was we at? 47. Okay, Leviticus 14 and 47. And I took you to Leviticus 14 and 8. And then we went to Mark 1 and 40 from there. So we'll continue to read at Leviticus 14 and 47. Okay, 48. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague have not spread in the house, after that the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. See? The plague is healed, okay? Then the priest shall pronounce the house clean because the plague is healed. And he shall take the cleanse, and he shall take the cleanse to the house 2 birds of cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop, okay? And that's what he should do, all right? And let's get that right there, okay? Where can we line back and go off that? Let's go to Leviticus 14 and 4. Okay, Leviticus 14 and 4, okay? And it says, then shall the priest command to take for him, that is to be cleansed, 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop, okay? Now, cedar wood, okay, it's usually red, or that's red wood, okay? In some cases, it's a rosy pink like looking wood, depending on the tree, all right? Scarlet, okay, that comes from a female worm. Uh, the Egyptians used to get it from shellfish, okay, and the Hebrews from that word is hard to pronounce, okay. Let me see if I can pronounce that word, okay. Silculus, I think that's the word, Silculus, okay. And that's where the Hebrews used to get it from, all right. Silculus, if I'm not mistaken, okay. That's where our ancestors used to get that from, the scarlet, all right. But I know the Egyptians, they used to get it from shellfish, and they say it comes from a female worm, all right. And our ancestors, they used to get it from Silculus, if I'm not mistaken, okay. Cecilis, Salakia. I don't have that full drawing right now, but I gave you that in part 1 of the lesson, okay? So if you would recap it, you would get the full measure of that. But I know the Egyptians got scarlet from the shellfish, and it's from a dried up worm, a female dried up worm. And the Hebrews, our ancestors, used to get it from. You would have to recap that. I don't have that right now. Did go over that in part 1 of the lesson. But getting back to the lesson, okay. Where are we at? 49. Okay, 14 and 4. We just went up to 14 and 4 to recap, okay. Leviticus 14 and 49. We went up to Leviticus 14 and 4 to line back off of that, precept that. Stay right inside Leviticus 14th chapter, because again, the chapter pretty much precepts itself. Okay, and again, cedar wood was a red wood, okay? Or some cases a rosy, like pinkish wood, depending on the tree. And scarlet, you would get that from a dried up female worm. The Egyptians got it from shellfish. And you would have to recap where I could get the full pronunciation of where the Hebrews, our ancestors, got it from. But again, recap part 1 and part 2, it's in there, all right? Let's go back to Leviticus 49, okay? Leviticus 49, and where we going to start reading from, 49. Okay, let's go to 50. It says Leviticus 14 and 50. And he shall kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. An earthen vessel is a vessel fire resistant that you could cook food in, hot food, boil food. You know, you boil clothes. You know, the clothes that the leper had, you would boil them and cleanse them. Okay, that's an earthen vessel. All right. And he shall take the cedar wood, Leviticus 14 and 51. And he shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop, okay? And hyssop is a plant, all right? Hyssop is a plant, okay, that grows and it's used for cleansing, okay? It's a plant or herb and it's used for cleansing. Uh, Talks about that in Psalms 51 and 11 chapter. Wash me in hyssop, cleanse me, Lord. And that's what hyssop is. It's a herb or a plant and it's used for cleansing, all right? Okay, and he shall take the cedar wood, Leviticus 14 and 51, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times, okay? And sprinkle the house 7 times. That's what he's supposed to do. Sprinkle the house 7 times, all right? And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. So that shows you how serious this leprosy was, okay? And it lets you know that it was a curse from Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. It was a curse from the Most High God. Again, leprosy or Hansen's disease was reported more than 3,000 years ago. It is interpreted as a curse from God. Okay? Leviticus 14 and 52. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. But he shall let the living bird out of the city and into the open field, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean, okay? And make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean, okay? And again, you can go to Leviticus, stay right there in Leviticus, and we'll line back off this Leviticus 14 and 20. Okay, let's go up to Leviticus 14 and 20. Okay. Leviticus 14 and 20. And the priest shall offer a burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean, okay? And he shall be clean, all right? So, again, you can stay right there in here and this Leviticus 14, okay, chapter. And you can get most of the precepts right there in Leviticus 14 chapter, because the chapter precepts itself, okay? All right, let's continue to read back into Leviticus 14 and 53. Okay, 14 and 53, 14 and 54. Get ready to wrap the lesson up. (14 and 54), it says, "This is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scale." Okay, Leviticus 14 and 54, it says, "For this is the law of all manner of plague of leprosy and scale." All right, and that's the law, okay? Leviticus 13 and 30. Leviticus 13 and 30. "Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the plague shall be pronounced unclean. It is a dry scale, even leprosy upon the head of the beard." Okay, so it's unclean. Okay, and if the priest look on the plague of the scale, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that have the plague of the scale 7 days. And in the 7th day, the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the scale be spread not, there be in it no yellow hair, and the scale be not in sight deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, but the scale shall be not shaved, and the priest shall shut him up and have the scale 7 days more. And in the seventh day, the priest shall look on the scale, and behold, if the scale be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. All right, let's go back to Leviticus 14. Okay, and we're going to go to the Leviticus 14 and 53. That's where we was at. 14 and 54, okay. And it says, this is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scale. All right. And I just broke that down for you in Leviticus. Okay. Okay. I just broke that down. Leviticus 13 and 30 through 35. All right. Leviticus 14 and 55. And for the leprosy of the garment and of a house, okay, for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, all right, for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, okay, Leviticus, we're going to stay in Leviticus, and we're going to go to, right in Leviticus 14th chapter to 34. Let's go to Leviticus 14 and 34. And it says, When ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession, okay? That's Leviticus 14 and 34. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to be to me, there is, okay, as it were a plague in the house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And after the priest shall after Salakia, and afterward the priest shall go into to see the house, okay? And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house, with the hollow streaks, greenish or reddish, which is in sight or lower than the walls, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. Okay, all right, and that's Leviticus 14 and 34. Okay, and we're going to go back to Leviticus 14 and 55. Leviticus 14 and 55. All right. And for the leprosy of a garment and of a house. Okay. And I just gave you that, broke that down into Leviticus 14 and 34. And I'm going to take you to some more of the miracles the Lord did before we close the lesson out. Let's get this Luke, that ties into this Luke 5. Let's go to the book of Luke. Okay, and we're going to go to Luke 5th chapter, and we're going to go to verse 12, all right, and start reading. And it came to pass, when he was in a certain city, behold, a man full of leprosy, who seeing Yahushua fell on his face, and he besought him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him. And he charged him to tell no man, but go and show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing according as Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. All right. So again, these are some of the miracles that our Savior done, okay? And Leviticus 14 All right, where we at? 56, 14 and 56. And for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, okay? And for a bright spot. All right, for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot. Okay, Leviticus 13 and 2. Leviticus 13 and 2. And it says, when a man shall have the skin of his flesh a rising scalp or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, and unto one of his sons the priest. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair of his plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. All right? Unclean, okay? And let's close the lesson out. Leviticus, pretty much that line back off Leviticus 14 and 56, okay? Leviticus 14 and 57, and we'll close the lesson, okay? All right, Leviticus 14 and 57. All right, and it reads, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy, all right? This is the law of leprosy, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. Leviticus 57, okay, line back Ezekiel 44 and 33. Ezekiel 44 and 33. Ezekiel 44 and 23, Salakia. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. Okay, again, Ezekiel 44 and 23, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. Okay, so this is the law of the leper. Okay, leprosy was a very serious thing. Okay, it still is right now today. These Edomites are what you might call clean lepers. All right, but nevertheless, that's the mark. Leprosy was the mark that he gave them. Okay, and I just showed you how serious leprosy was and how it could spread and pretty much wipe out an entire tribe, okay? But the priest would go in and discern if the house should be burnt down, okay? If they could just take a few bricks out and remortar it, if it came back, the house would definitely be burnt down. And if the scab and the boils on a person didn't go away, how they would be considered lepers, okay? And it lets you know it's a curse for the wicked, all right? It's a curse that is for the wicked. And we prove that through Psalms 91 and 9, Proverbs 33rd chapter, Proverbs 3 and 33, Salakia. And leprosy is a curse from the Most High God. That's pretty much all I have right now. Lord will, the lesson is edifying through the Spirit. In closing, I like to say Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash Barakatah, Kwam Yasharala, and Abab Abo.